That night when Nate came home drunk, a notification popped up on his phone showing he'd purchased a $30 Stella Lou card case on TikTok. I confronted him, phone in hand, demanding why the order had disappeared. He initially played dumb, slurring about possibly buying it for me. Only when I lost my temper did he relent. Fine. I just did someone a favor. A coworker needed help snagging a deal because she didn't have coupons. I scoffed. With the holiday sales coming up, you'll be rescuing every girl short on coupons? He sank into the couch, lit a cigarette, and finally muttered, I knew you'd overreact. That's why I kept it from you. Staring at his irritated face, I suddenly felt exhausted by it all. It happened during one of Nate's routine late nights. After hauling his limp body to bed, I heard him mumble, charge my phone before you sleep. Plugging it in the living room, the screen lit up, revealing that $19 purchase from the 19th. My stomach dropped. The vanished order confirmed he deleted it deliberately. I stormed back, shaking him awake to confront the screenshot. Who's this for? Why hide it? He blinked sluggishly. Must have clicked it by accident. Don't remember. When I yanked him upright, irritation sharpened his tone. Joy. Give it a rest. Maybe I bought it for you and forgot. You know how swamped I am. Try exhausted from tonight's client dinner. Cut me some slack. No. My voice turned glacial. Remember your graduation vows? No secrets. Yet here we are, no wedding plans. Just lies. I need to know what's broken here. His fingers froze on his loosened tie. Then he pulled me onto the bed, arms slung over my shoulders. We're fine. The wedding, he paused, smiling. It's happening. I'm handling it. I wrenched free. Recognizing my storm warning, he sighed. Look. I helped a coworker grab a promo. She needed a coupon. That's all. Every word reeked of rehearsed dishonesty. I laughed. Hollow and cold. With Singles' Day coming up. There are so many girls without coupons. Don't tell me you're planning to help every single one? I remember you've always hated complications. You couldn't even make time to pick holiday gifts for my parents. But you downloaded TikTok just for this nonsense. How else am I supposed to take it? Whatever I said must have struck a nerve. Nathan bolted upright from the bed, rummaged through the drawer with practiced ease, and pulled out a pack of Jonhua cigarettes, though he'd promised to quit. The acrid smoke soon filled the room. He slumped on the couch by the door, exhaling a cloud with that trademark weariness. Knew you'd get mad. That's why I didn't tell you. He muttered, irritation dripping from every word. I watched him dissolve into the haze, clearly done with the conversation. Suddenly, it all felt pointless. This wasn't our first sleepless fight. I grabbed a quilt and moved to the guest room. The sheets were icy, sending a shiver through me. Late October nights bit harder after midnight. Back when I'd complain about cold feet, Nate would tuck them under his shirt mid-work email, warming them against his skin. That memory now felt like someone else's life. A tear escaped, soaking into the pillow. Sleep came fitfully, so when his door creaked open at 3 a.m., I stirred instantly. His footsteps paused outside my room, then continued. The toilet flushed. That tiny hope fizzled. Why had I even imagined he'd come apologize? But then, through the wall, I caught his muffled voice. Gentle, almost tender. Laughter. The Stitch Wallet girl flashed in my mind again. My blood turned to ice. He's disciplined, early to bed. Grumpy if woken. Earlier, he'd claimed exhaustion. Who'd keep him up this late? By morning, he'd already left. Roommates. Not lovers. I called. Simmering. Morning. I'm at the office. Want me to bring lunch later? I'll make it up to you once this project wraps. He chirped. Yesterday's tension erased. The words I'd rehearsed lodged in my throat. I forced a hollow "sure." Hanging up. I sighed. Maybe I was overreacting. We'd stumbled through worse. The coffee machine hummed as my best friend's video call lit up the screen. Joy Martin. Look! I'm at this Jellycat pop-up store. Don't you love tea? How about I bring you back a tea set plushie? I forced a smile. Since when do I like that stuff? You should. My words trailed off as my smile froze. The clerk packaging items in her photo had a painfully familiar figure in the background. Nathan Scott. Even the outfit he wore today was one I'd personally coordinated for him. Clutching at straws, I asked my friend to zoom in. Wait. That is him, but who's that girl next to him? She went silent when she saw my ashen face. Damn. Whether they're hooking up or not, the fact that he's lying about being busy at work while out with another woman is messed up. When deception repeats, suspicions crystallize. Strangely calm, I stopped her from confronting them. I'll handle this myself. Taking a cab to Scott Enterprises, I dialed Nate. Since I'm free today, I'll bring snacks to your office. We can grab dinner after? His voice cracked slightly. I'm delivering documents off-site. Maybe later? 10 minutes after hanging up, I watched from a cafe as Nate's car pulled into the parking lot. The girl in the frilly dress emerged from the passenger seat. After scanning the area, Nate texted, Joy. ETA. Should I meet you? Typing through trembling fingers, traffic jam. Maybe 20 minutes. His relieved expression as he escorted her inside made me nauseous. 5 minutes later, I rode the elevator up. The empty hallway amplified voices from the supply closet. She only saw the plushie? Nothing else? A tearful feminine voice answered. This is all my fault for accepting gifts. If you can't bear to hurt Joy after all these years, maybe we should. Just give me time to sort things out. Please don't cry. Lily, you're breaking my heart. The whispers dissolved into muffled sounds that made my stomach churn. Standing there, I finally understood what it meant to be the butt of the universe's joke. That evening when Nate came home, I'd just placed braised pork knuckles on the table, his favorite. He glanced at the spread. Not hungry. We haven't shared a proper meal in weeks. My calm voice surprised me. He paused, then sat down reluctantly. The moment he bit into the pork, his eyes widened. Joy, when did your cooking get this good? The secret ingredient was 3 years of love slowly curdling into resignation. I chuckled without responding. Truthfully, after moving in together, I'd been diligently improving my cooking skills. But Nate was always busy, sometimes even the packed meals I delivered would return untouched. Those simmered for hours soups cooled along with my hopes. Was he genuinely swamped? Or had he found new dining companions elsewhere? Lowering my gaze, I remarked with deliberate ambiguity. Perhaps you've been feasting elsewhere too often to remember home flavors. Nate slammed his chopsticks, irritation flashing. Must you always communicate through veiled jabs? We finally get a meal together and you turn it toxic. My eyes lingered on his slightly swollen lips. How ironic, prolonged kissing naturally suppresses appetite. Yet he blamed me for ruining dinner. This is who I am, I countered. You pursued me claiming to understand me. Now one sharp comment makes you renounce all your past sweet nothings. Nate. I drained my soup bowl. If you can't keep your promise to cook together, at least wash the dishes from our breakup meal. Chopsticks clattered to the floor. What? Nate stared, disbelief etching his features. 4 days. He clung to the misconception that I was upset about some card holder. His solution? The usual cold shoulder until I calmed down. Tonight's performance involved bandaged fingers and a martyred sigh. Cooking's brutal. Joy. Maybe I should handle all meals to spare you. I tasted his oversalted attempt without comment, then ordered single portion takeout. Watching him grimace through his culinary disaster, I finally spoke. Still think this is about a card holder? When he began lecturing about parental expectations and marriage deadlines, I snatched his jacket from the couch. Grandma would celebrate me dodging this bullet pre-wedding. But since you enjoy humiliation, I activated the voice recording. Color drained from Nate's face as our enthusiastic audio played. I gestured at his coat. Even without kitchen ventilation, that Dior Santal Noir bass note's unmistakable. Whose floral trail are you wearing? Exactly? I suppose it mostly relates to the owner of that card holder. The conversation had reached this point. Out of courtesy, I suggested he stay until morning to avoid disturbing the neighbors. But as I unpacked my takeout and began eating at the dining table, the silent figure in the living room suddenly bolted out. The front door slammed shut. I glanced over but didn't dwell on it. At midnight, insistent knocking roused me. Peering through the peephole, I hesitated before opening to find Lily struggling under the weight of Nate's intoxicated form. As they stumbled forward, I stepped back, letting them collapse onto the entryway rug. In that instant, I caught the fleeting resentment in her eyes before she resumed her usual fragile demeanor. Before I could speak, she dropped to her knees weeping. I'm sorry, I asked Nate to place the order for me but deleted it myself, fearing it might cause issues between you. Those things you overheard were just me clinging to false hope. He only humored me to spare my feelings. Honestly, how could Nate ever forget you? That's why he drowned his sorrows at the gathering tonight. My expression remained impassive. It takes two to tango. But do you know what this makes you? My lips twisted. That label will haunt you forever. Do your parents know their daughter chases taken men? Her trembling intensified. When she begged for forgiveness, I shrugged. Cut all ties. Since you met at work, resign. For an intern nearing promotion at a major corporation, this meant career suicide. Predictably, she glanced pleadingly at the man sprawled on the floor, who now sat up glaring soberly. All pretense of drunkenness gone. Joy. You really know how to destroy someone. Nate snarled. She's just a nervous newcomer finally earning her promotion. Do you think that recording makes you powerful? As department manager, I can protect my interns. And frankly, I'm sick of your controlling ways, showing up at my office pretending to care while digging for dirt. Where's the honest woman I loved? Don't you share blame for this mess? His venom held no trace of past affection. I almost laughed at how nearly his words had swayed me. Fine. Since you're so determined to defend her, build your life together. Consider these 7 years a dog bite. The exit's to your right. He stormed out with Lily, returning next morning for his belongings. Had you tempered that vicious tongue all these years, we might have lasted. Remember, you chose this. Don't expect me to reconsider when the relatives come pleading. His bitter laugh echoed. Let's see what man could stomach your temper besides me. When my parents learned of the breakup, Dad huffed. How many 7 years does a woman have? I warned you, if he'd wanted marriage, he'd have proposed ages ago instead of stringing us along. Mom intervened gently. Enough. Joy's hurting enough. Better to discover this before vows were exchanged. As she said, silver linings. When it comes to such deal-breaker issues discovered before marriage, I consider it a blessing. After all these years, my affection and expectations had long faded through countless nights of lying back-to-back in bed. Comforted by their words, I gradually regained my composure. But your grandmother, I knew their concern. I visited the hospital during a break, only to find Nathan Scott had just left the ward. What was he doing here? My anxious eyes darted to Grandma, whose loving gaze held heartache. She revealed Nathan had brought Lily Taylor over. I didn't believe you when you mentioned this earlier. But now, you two simply weren't meant to be. I sighed in relief. At least they'd spared her the humiliation of openly admitting their affair. Yet fury soon bubbled up. Thank God I'd preemptively told Grandma we'd amicably split, fearing the truth might hurt her. What if I hadn't? Could her health have withstood their sudden confession? My grip tightened around Grandma's hand. The next day, Nate and Lily barged into my office first. Their compromising photos had been leaked company-wide. Lily, a clueless intern, became the laughingstock. Everyone mocked her as the homewrecker. Accurate description, isn't it? My comment ignited Nate's rage. I knew you did this. Lily tugged my sleeve. Tearful mascara trails down her cheeks. Joy. I've apologized repeatedly. Why won't you stop tormenting me? I shook her off dismissively. With theatrical flair, she collapsed against the coffee table, elbow bleeding. Lily! Nate cradled her. Glaring icily, I tolerated your temper. Joy. But scheming behind our backs? Apologize now. Why should I? This wasn't my doing. Who else? He sneered. Not everyone weaponizes evidence like you. Protectively shielding Lily, he added, take your anger out on me. She's fragile. I nearly laughed. Slapping him hard. I snapped, done. I've been itching to do that. Stop playing victims, these photos don't lie. As Nate stood stunned, Lily whimpered, we understand you're upset. But no man likes such aggressiveness. I scoffed, I don't need advice from a manipulative homewrecker. Like it or not, this is who I am. Get lost before I snap more incriminating photos. Everyone loves juicy gossip anyway. They scurried off like roaches. After grueling work days, I finally approached my weekend sanctuary only to find that man looming at my apartment entrance, instantly souring my mood. What are you doing here again? I already said everything I needed to last time. Nathan Scott shoved his hands in his pockets. His brows furrowed with irritation. Come to the hospital with me. I narrowed my eyes. My patience wearing thin. What now? Planning another stunt in front of my grandmother? Nate frowned. Who said anything about your grandmother? Lily's having a mental breakdown from the stress and needs treatment. That injury you caused her last time got infected. She's still running a fever. Physical wounds heal. But do you have any idea how much psychological damage you've done by leaking those things? I scoffed. For the last time, the only recording I ever made was the one I played for both of you. Those photos and videos had nothing to do with me. Besides, what would I gain from this? You think I don't have better things to do? Obviously you're trying to get back at me. Nate said it like stating the weather. You hate that she took me away from you. I almost laughed. These two deserved each other. Nate kept talking. Lily thought you might be upset because she offered to apologize to your grandmother. But ultimately, this started with you. She's traumatized physically and emotionally. You owe her a formal apology. I know you're still angry with me. He paused, lowering his gaze. If you do this, we can talk things through properly later. One detail stuck out. The hospital visit to my grandmother had been Lily's idea all along. Good. Now I didn't have to hold back. Fine. I smiled sweetly. I'll take the afternoon off. Wouldn't want to apologize half-heartedly tomorrow, right? Seeing my familiar compliance from our dating days, Nate softened. Why couldn't you have been this reasonable earlier? If you'd just stayed this sweet. I might have, he trailed off. We both made mistakes. Let's talk everything out after this blows over. Okay? His parting words made me nauseous. Some men didn't bother hiding their toxicity, they wore their arrogance like cologne. I texted my cousin through the disgust. Send those files now? They're playing the victim card. Time to clean house. With the documents in hand, I updated the viral expose post. This is just the tip of the iceberg. A certain manager at XX Corp abuses power to protect his mistress, forcing his ex to apologize while they flirt openly at work. Where's the basic decency? Where's justice? I uploaded every damning recording. The post rocketed from local gossip to national outrage within hours. Comment sections turned feral. Corporate must have panicked about their image. Nate called within the hour, screaming through the receiver, "Joy, I never should have trusted you. Are you trying to destroy us?" I cut him off. "Remember when you two ambushed my grandmother at the hospital? You knew her condition. Funny how karma tastes. Isn't it? That was coincidence. Lily just happened to. Right. Like all your coincidences and lies." My laugh held no humor. "Own your mess, Nate." I remembered Lily accidentally dropping her designer card holder that day, her pathetic attempt to flaunt their affair. Little did she know. That moment cured my blindness. How had I ever believed Nathan would be my forever? I moved back home that weekend. My parents' relieved hugs said everything. The house felt tainted now that he was gone. After living together for so long, even the walls seemed stained by his presence. Moving back home kept me closer to the hospital and farther from their relentless harassment. Between work shifts, I visited Grandma regularly. I kept running into Nate during these visits. Once when I took time off midweek, he was there too. He spotted me from across the hall, hesitating when he noticed my parents. Smart move, he'd never dare show his face near them again. His haggard appearance told the whole story. The scandal had cost him his job. Every time I saw him, he'd be heading to the psychiatric ward, no doubt visiting Lily. With her job gone too, that clingy woman would have latched onto him like ivy. How touching. I averted my gaze and walked past with my parents. Cutting that trash out of my life turned everything around. Work thrived, and Grandma's health improved faster than her doctors predicted. They said she'd be ready for discharge in 2 days. When my parents got tied up, the task fell to me. Nate waited at the hospital entrance like some desperate stalker. He'd grown gaunt, the sharp edge in his eyes dulled to nothing. "Joy, I know you told Grandma we broke up peacefully. That means you still delusional as ever." I cut him off. I just didn't want her relapsing from shock. He blocked my path. "What now? Shouldn't you be babysitting your precious Lily?" His throat worked before the words spilled out. "The leaked photos weren't yours. The office rumors didn't start with you either." I'm sorry. Turned out Lily's other office fling had exposed their affair after she ditched him for higher prey. The guy got fired too for stirring the mess. "All those times you followed me." The angry outbursts, I know they came from caring. His voice cracked. "She seduced me. But I swear nothing happened. Right. You stopped just short of full betrayal." He dropped to his knees. "Give me one last chance. Joy. I'll spend my whole life making this right." Like your uncle's family, they reconciled after everything. My grip tightened on my phone. He'd actually dredge up our family's shame? Know what happened to my uncle? I asked sweetly. His confusion almost made me laugh. He repeated his mistakes. "Died in a car crash." I brushed his shoulder as I left. The universe settles scores. Nate. Heartbreakers always get theirs. This time, he didn't chase after me. I never saw Nathan Scott again after that day. 2 weeks later, I got promoted. The whole family gathered to celebrate. Grandma hadn't stopped smiling since the festivities began. But right before dinner, she pulled me into her room. "I've known the truth for a while," she confessed, callous thumb brushing away my unexpected tears. "That fool Nate didn't deserve our sweet girl. You've endured so much these years. Haven't you?" She wasn't wrong. My childhood had been shaped by my parents' messy divorce and subsequent abandonment. Raised entirely by Grandma, I'd grown wary of love until Nate's relentless 2-year pursuit wore down my defenses. For 7 years, I'd guarded our relationship like fragile porcelain. Any regrets? Countless people had asked after the breakup. Leaning against Grandma now, I sighed. Not really. I know when to hold on and when to let go. The passionate young man who'd taught me how to love, my personal sunspot, had faded. What remained were the memories. People change, but memories don't. Some belong preserved in the past. I murmured. While moving into my new downtown apartment, I encountered Lily Taylor at the building entrance. The once glamorous woman now wore a frayed white dress, her formerly lustrous hair hanging like straw. Her hollow eyes and twitching smile chilled me. "Long time no see, sister," she crooned, advancing as I retreated. "Did you tell Nate I'm crazy? Is that why he left me?" Her sudden shove sent me stumbling into traffic. Tires screeched. Someone yanked me backward as a truck swerved. The world spun before I registered Nate lying motionless in the intersection. His right leg bent grotesquely, blood pooling beneath him. I woke in the hospital to my frantic family's relief. Their frightened voices overlapped about the hit and run, the coma risk, and Nate's critical condition. Through the haze, one thought crystallized: the man who'd once promised forever had nearly died saving me from his own jolted lover. Thankfully, I only had a mild concussion. But no one had considered that Nate would be the one shielding me. Out of gratitude, my parents went to visit his room. When Mom returned, her expression was complicated. She told me Nate had lost his right leg after emergency surgery, while Lily had been arrested on scene for intentional assault causing severe disability. When taken away, she'd been laughing hysterically while claiming mental illness would exempt her from punishment. But if she were truly ill, how to explain that calculated look in her eyes? Mom urged me to rest and not overthink. On discharge day, I visited Nate's room. He showed no reaction to my presence, staring blankly at the empty space where his leg should be. After a long silence, he rasped, "Joy, can you forgive me now?" I met his gaze calmly. "What's the point of asking now? We passed the point of no return long ago." His head jerked up, eyes tormented. "So even after becoming crippled for you, it's meaningless?" He laughed bitterly, covering his eyes with trembling fingers. "Right, who'd want to spend their life with a cripple? But I never imagined you'd stay this cold-hearted." I drew a steadying breath. If my future husband truly loved me and got disabled because of me, I'd stand by him forever. But you're forgetting something crucial. Every tragedy here stems from your own actions. You let the woman dependent on you spiral into madness. Made another woman bear consequences of betrayal she never deserved. And now you expect forgiveness? I nearly laughed, pointing at myself. What? Am I some kind of saint? Nate withdrew into the shadows, offering no response. Life resumed normally until my parents came looking troubled days later. Did the Scots demand compensation? I guessed. Mom sighed. Nate had attempted suicide the previous night. Nurses revived him. But Mrs. Scott begged me to visit, not for forgiveness, just to help him regain the will to live. The next day, I found him gaunt and hollow-cheeked. Cracked lips twitched as he whispered, "Seeing you makes dying worthwhile. Near death, finally saw how monstrous I've been. You must despise me." Blood seeped from his split lip as he continued shakily. The wedding plans, they were real. Joy. Work pressure. Everyone's expectations, your quiet support became something I took for granted while seeking comfort elsewhere. Tears streaked his sallow face. "You were right, this is karma. My kind deserves to die alone." His words dragged me back to memories of our early days, two ambitious youths slowly drifting into silence beneath life's weight. At first I thought his increasingly reserved demeanor was due to work pressures maturing him. Little did I know he'd been privately enduring struggles while confiding in others instead of me. Our story ultimately didn't lead to growing old together through mutual support. Nate kept his head lowered, murmuring as if convincing himself. But I never touched her. I knew crossing that line would destroy any chance with you forever. "Given your principles," I finally snapped, enunciating each word, "our ending was sealed the moment you chose her." I don't keep what others have handled. His eyes dimmed as he grasped at final hope. What if I'd cut ties with her earlier? How laughable. Life doesn't deal in what-ifs. But if we're playing this game, I'd choose never meeting you. No meeting. No heartbreak. This visit wasn't about reconciliation anyway, only closure. Severing lingering connections. Whatever became of him afterward wasn't my concern. Returning to work. I traveled extensively with corporate leadership. Though dazzled by new cities, homesickness anchored me. Despite colleagues' protests, I declined overseas advancement and returned to my hometown Y-City. My startup studio became an incubator for raw talent. Watching protégés blossom under my mentorship brought quiet pride. The year we landed our first major contract, I dismissed the team early for Lunar New Year while taking my parents and grandmother to their dream destination, historic North City with its eternal spring climate. During sightseeing, we encountered young lovers seeking directions. Watching them retreat, Mom sighed nostalgically, youth so vibrant. Her side glance spoke volumes. How about that man your cousin introduced? 10th time's the charm? I chuckled. Yet contentment warmed me, time truly healed. Occasional updates filtered through. The Scott family relocated Nate to another city during his depression spiral. Lily received 5 years imprisonment after psychiatric evaluations disproved her insanity defense. The wheel of karma spares no one. Shaking my head, I turned to my chattering family. Everyone pose. This vista's perfect. Grandmother and Mom whipped out floral scarves with performative glee while Dad reluctantly flashed a peace sign between them. Say cheese, I called. This moment, golden sunlight gilding their laughter, made every struggle worthwhile.